When they go thousands and millions of years and all that, and they can't prove it, you got to be crazy to believe anything. They can't. How do they know? That you just can't know this stuff. What I see from the evidence over and over again, just after thousands and thousands and thousands of buildings going over these different buildings and the damage, you start to see a weird rock block forming phenomenon. It's a lot of damage, man. It's a lot of damage. Everywhere I look on this earth, it's all messed up, melted building. It's like a war zone. I don't know how anybody can look at it. It's like everywhere it's scarred, blasted, messed up. It's mind-blowing. You can't believe how many buildings you got. It's just building after building mangled and melted everywhere. Before into after. You can see what it looked like before and now after. Before, after. Building getting turned into rock. It's just brick being melted, and it expands and bubbles like a marshmallow. Brick lines. It's such a building. Domes. It's insane. Okay, this was all brick, and look what happened to it. This was all red brick. Look at what the swelling coming up the wall. It's popping out from the heat. It's popping out of the wall here. That's everything below this mark has been hit with heat, and it's been melted, and it's coming apart here. And again, as it liquefies and it gets melted from the heat, because it's black marks here. Again, well, a lot of these buildings, they're not pyramids. They melt like this, and they form like what looks like a pyramid. Again, you see what I'm saying? And again, look at these tops of the buildings here, still intact, and then they have been melted down. Like, look what you'll see here in this band right here. It's a heat band. It cooked the color out more. You have to learn what's going on. What cooked the color out more? Why has this got less color? See the less color? It was all red brick. When you see that it's not red brick, that's carbon-14 being cooked the fuck out of it. See the band here of heat here? Look at that band. The damage it did to these buildings. All red brick buildings melted to shit. Just melted. You can see the brick lines here. You can see it melting and falling. It's all just brick lines. This is all the after effect. This is the shapes it created. Look at the melting here. It's all from an event. It's a side effect. It's what happens. It's conforming to the field. It looks like it's building a wall. It's not. It's just conforming to the field. Look at the melting here. Look at this melting here. All melted building. You can still see the brick lines intact. Look at that shit. All the way. Again, look at the brick here. You can see the brick. It's been pancaked and melted together into rock. All buildings. Something that's taken some of these buildings and just twisted them. It's hard to explain the tech. Who knows, man? It's a weird event, man. Just a weird event. And again, look what it did to this building here. This has got mangled here. I don't know how they took this was a one straight line and mangled it together, these buildings, dude. They took some serious damage here. Again, look at the rock coming up. Look at all these rocks blasted. That's building blasted into pieces. Pieces of building. And melted. Again, this thing has areas where it's been really hit bad, and it's melting here, melted here, into marshmallowing rock mountains. Again, all this is melted buildings, and then all the top has not been melted yet. See it coming up? It came up the building, it fucking melted all this. And this is what's left of buildings mangled. Right here, this right here is turning into block. The carbon has been cooked out. The red brick carbon's been cooked out. Red brick carbon cooked out, coming up the wall, rock curtaining, ready to expand, form a mountain, marshmallow out, forming blocks here, cooking out the carbon. All this brick here was perfect red brick. Everywhere you're looking at, the brick has been subjected to an insane amount of heat, and it's been blasted and melted and expanded these bricks, and it has deformed the bricks. When the bricks get subjected to heat, they deform and expand and turn into fucking stone. This one's interesting. Usually they come from the bottom or top, and this one hit right in the middle, but it is the bottom here. Look at this here. It's all getting turned to rock here. Again, it's burning up the wall, turning it black here, melting it. This has been hit. Old world, inherited, orange, black. Again down here, it's been turning into block. The carbon has been cooked out of it. It's nice and white and clear now because it's been cooked thoroughly. Again, look at the bottom here, black, expanded, hit. Look at that expansion and marshmallowing. It's incredible. And again, look at all the black. It's been hit at the bottom. The carbon's been cooked out more where there's less black marks or black. It's been cooked thoroughly more and turned into blocks. You'll see the black melting coming up the wall. Again, it should be all brick down like this. This has all been hit. Everything's been hit. Look at this thing again. This is melting from the bottom. It's turning this building here into this rocky marshmallowing shit here. Expanding it, marshmallowing it, fucking up the building up bad. Look at this one hit. Look at this goddamn. Look at this shit. You know what that looks like? A Tesla tower. Again, this Rocky Mountain marshmallowing has worked its way almost all the way up the wall of this. Another one has been hit. There's black marks there. And mangled wall here. Again, look at all this at the bottom here. All marshmallowing out. Getting hit. Look at this shit's been hit. Incredibly all over. Look what happened to the brick here. It's just melted it like marshmallows. Melted it like marshmallows. Look what it did to this brick wall. Like marshmallows. All the brick's been mangled and hit. And look at all this has been hit and marshmallowed out. Expanded. Buildings everywhere. Africa's obliterated. Look, evidence. It's been hit. This has been hit here. Just obliterated. Looks like all this is melted. No, looks like I carved it in mountain. Wrong. It's a building obliterated. A building obliterated. Oh, looks like they carved it. Obliterated building. More buildings obliterated and melted. I mean, look at this. Look at this. This pile right here just melted down here. Melted. Melting, melting. Everything's melting. Dripping. All this shit got melted and mud flooded as well. Building melted. Completely melted. Building melted. Building melted. Building melted. Building melted. Building completely melted. See this? Melted it. Look right here. Melted it. This building has been melted. You can see it dripping. You can see it completely dripped over the grass here. Holy shit. So, I mean, it's completely dripped over the grass here. Fucking insane. It's all melting. It's all melted. It was all brick. Whoops. You know, and stairs. These are stairs. Heat marks melting. Building been hit. Again, buildings hit. Oh, good. Look at all these right here. Popcorn blocks. Look at all the blocks here that expanded. They get bigger at the bottom. And they melt together. And again, look at this thing. Top of a building sticking up out of the ground here. And look at this. Completely melted like ice cream. These buildings melted like ice cream. Look at the bricks turned to stone here. Look at the bricks here. See, all bricks turned to stone. And boom. It looks like, you know, It's all buildings here, man. Completely hit. All buildings. See the brick here turn to stone, and then it melts like this shit together and blocks and all that crazy shit. And look at it. Look at it, man. It's crazy. Buildings hit. See it dripping down. Dripping down. Rock curtain. And again, this is an insanely incredible example of these. It's all brick here. And then the brick starts coming down. It starts melting and it starts forming these fucking blocks. Look at all the blocks. There's no blocks there. None of these blocks existed until the fucking event. Because it's all brick. Look, it's all brick. It's all brick. Everything's brick. And then it's all brick. And then it gets turned into these fucking big blocks. Look. It is what it is. Look at this. It's just been hit and it's just melted down. Melted down. Hit and it's just melted down. Forms a big rock mountain on the side of this building that was getting hit by some heat. This whole thing is melted down. This is all not mud. It's all melted buildings. It is. Forming these big... Okay. Again, it's all regular small stone, and boom, what do we got here? A big one forming. A big one forming together. Melding together. It's originally... They think they carried this big one. It's all small ones, and they think they carried these big ones out of nowhere. Let's just start carrying heavy ones like retards. Dumb fuck retards. But really? Their own dripping, melting, hot mess concrete rock. Look at it. See, all that's concrete. That's all liquid building. It melted around itself and flooded itself. All this shit. And mud flooded, too. All kinds of flooding going on. Tops of buildings sticking up. All damaged. It turned it into stone. These are all buildings. And this is like part of the building that didn't get fucked up. And they're like, oh, they built it into this rock. They're so dumb. It's insane. Again, everything is like the reverse of truth. Again, there's another house that's they're like, oh, it's built out of these 4 rocks. Well, it formed 4 rocks because it was getting hit. It melted down. Look at all this. It's getting hit and melted down like candle wax. Look at Australia. It's just black, scorched, bashed, broken apart. Look, it's all broken apart. It's blasted. Look at this. There's nothing left of it. It's been hit. I mean, it's been blasted to shit. Look. Look at the land. It's all been blasted to shit. I mean, tell me that doesn't look like complete fucking annihilation. Buildings annihilated, man. And again, look, the land is completely devastated. It's been broken apart. There's pools of water everywhere. Like what the fuck? I mean, look at this place. It's completely devastated. It's completely obliterated. And look at this. It's just like buildings have just been blasted and flowing, and then they turn to liquid and then flow, and all the buildings have flown, and they're flowing, and then it again dried again, solidified, and it's destruction everywhere. It's just gnarly. It's completely nothing but buildings blasted to shit everywhere I look. I don't care. Look, the land is devastated. And again, look, see the scorch marks here? Look at this place. It's been blasted to shit. There's nothing. These buildings have been blasted like butter. They've been melted like butter and blasted this way in the wind. Look at this shit. I mean, everywhere you look, it's just complete devastation. Look at these blast marks. And it blasted these buildings into liquid. And it's just, boom, flown them everywhere. Turned them into fine grains of sand. Okay? What turns things into fine grains of sand? Think about it. Something like blasted the shit out of this place. And these are all looking like tops of buildings here that have been completely blasted to shit. Look at this devastation. It's devastation. Look at it. It's so gnarly. It's so fucking black scorch, red scorch marks everywhere. Buildings liquefied, blasted and flowing and in every direction and fucking scorch marks everywhere. This place has been fucking just destroyed. And let me show you what I mean here. Let's pull out and let me just show you one example. Look at this right here. Again, imagine it absolutely looks like this right here has been blasted out this way into chunks, and it's all over here. Look at all the holes there everywhere, blasted to shit. All the holes. Look at all the holes there, blasted apart. There is nothing left. Look, it's been blasted to bits and pieces. There's hardly anything left. Again, that looks like a melted house. Again, this place has just been blasted to bits and pieces. I mean, look at all the pieces here. It looks like it's been, these islands here do not look like tops of buildings. You know what they look like? They look like pieces of this fucking continent right here. That's what it looks like. I mean, it's just been blasted apart. All the buildings everywhere you fucking look have been destroyed and melted and blasted apart. I mean, the huge area here in the U.S., they're just like this right here, this whole red area. I mean, this whole red area is a total sign of total devastation and heat. It's been completely destroyed here. Canyonlands. Look at all these buildings that have just been liquefied to shit, instant liquid, and blasted out. Look, see how they've been blasted out? Look at that. Look, all these buildings have just been blasted into liquid and then scattered and sprayed all over the place. Buildings blasted into liquid. See the darker red brick? But it's all buildings blasted. Absolutely fucking buildings. Look at that shit, man. Look at these shits. Tons of fucking buildings, man. I mean, just tons of them. Just ridiculous. Of course they're all around this river because they probably made it to serve it to they were fucking pumping. And look at all the buildings just scattered and blown about from something that just destroyed this place. It's all blasted to shit. It's nothing but red brick, liquid brick, blasted about and scattered everywhere. Buildings blasted and scattered everywhere. Look at the heat marks. You'll see the heat marks from where it was really hot. Here's some right here. Some more red brick that just got really fucking blasted and scattered. Shit, man. Look at that shit. Look at the building line here. Oh, boy. Yep. Oh, yeah. See. Oh, good God. That was just a lot of building there. Gone. Yep. Yep. Blown this place to bits, man. Sheesh. Yep, melted these buildings like pancakes, man. I've showed this many fucking times. And these buildings are all just melted like pancakes. Look at the wavy, melty. All melted like fucking pancakes, man. Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely, buildings melted. Everywhere, all over this fucking plane. I don't give a fuck what you do. Where you go, there's melted. Look at that shit. Melted buildings. It just doesn't matter. Yep. Look, building's blasted to shit, man. See all that? That's all building. That's all building. All that red. All this fucking red here. That's all fucking liquid building that's been blown about. All over the fucking flat plane. It's just been blown about. And these are all buildings that have been hit and blasted. And the liquid just flows. And it flows. And it looks like a mud flood. But it turns out, after doing more advanced research, that they're all fucking buildings that have been blasted. It's all liquid building. There's no doubt. I mean, I've confirmed it. I've gone to all these sites, field trips. I've done all kinds of shit. And it's insane. It's all fucking buildings. I mean, it looks like they're mining here, blasting. Fuck. Look at this. Just blasted. Buildings blasted everywhere. That's how I see everything. Let me show you the world in my eyes. I see nothing but destruction everywhere. This is all blasted building, liquid building melted. It's all I see is nothing but destruction everywhere. It's just nothing but destruction. Look. Flowing liquid, burnt up, toasted to a crisp fucking buildings. Everywhere. Just blasted to shit. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Does not matter where you want to go. Again, look at this. This is all melted building just coming out into the land and shit. Making new land. Look at this shit. Again, does that look pretty to you? Or does that look like this shit just has been blasted and destroyed and broken apart? You see, it's fucking black, dark, it's scorched, it's red, it's hot, it's brick. Again, anywhere that looks like blood, it's brick. Fucking crazy fucks. Where's Roger when you need a DNA test? Look, here we go. He'll be calling that shit a Titan, and he'll be calling that shit Titan shit. Volcanoes Titan shit. It's still active and shit. It's crazy. It's just a bunch of buildings melted. Look up pareidolia. That's what he needs to look up is pareidolia. And his 77,000 subscribers need to look up pareidolia. Because that's what they got. If it was a thing, they would have it. Is that a thing? All I see are blasted buildings melted everywhere to shit. It just looks like destruction everywhere. I mean, holy shit. What? I mean, look at it. It's horrible. It's just horrible. And same architecture because it to conform to this grid. And again, this is fantastic. Look at this. This is all on top of buildings. They're all on top of buildings here. Look at this. Looking down on buildings that have been melted here. Melted buildings here. These are all melted. This is all melted building here. Melted building here. Look, intact still. Intact still. Pocket of survival. Yeah, and this is all buildings being melted from the event. Oh, this hot marks, hot curtains bubbling up here, marshmallowing from that point down. All marshmallowing, see it melting, hot. Windows getting covered up. House, the whole house just being melted. This is the house. This is all buildings, man. Everywhere, all around this shit is buildings that are getting covered up by this wave of rock. Second barrel there. It's melting on itself. It's a building getting melted onto itself. Again, this is the top here, the brick, and the bottom got hit. Look at the black marks, and it's melting down. Again, this is a building that got hit. Here's the window, or the hole, whatever you want to call it. And it's all melted down like ice cream. Melted down. Hit. melted down. Building hit and melted, turned to rock. Building hit, melted onto itself. It's forming again another rock wave, a rock curtain covering itself in time. Damage. Something happened. And again here, you can see this was all brick building first, and it's coming up the side here, melting its way up, working its way up. All the mortar drips out, dries, look like a rocky mountain because it is concrete. Mortar is concrete. It's melting its way up here on the side of the building here, working its way up, forming a rocky mountain now. And again, look, this is all building, that's brick, and it got turned into a rocky mountain. See how it comes up the sides here? It works its way up, forming a rocky cliff mountain all the way until you can't. It devours the building until you think it's just a naturally formed mountain. It here, expanded here, and then a rocky mountain it's expanding. It's coming up the wall, the heat, the rock curtain's coming. Look, see it? Again, the same thing's happening here. It's coming up from the bottom. It's working its way up the mountain. The building, which is now looking like a mountain. See it coming up the wall here? I can do. This is all melted here. Again, all these, it forms these blocks. Again, the brick here, see the tiny brick? It's getting melted into block columns. And they're not hexagonal, they're square. And it forms these popcorn blocks. Again, these are all popcorning up and out from the heat. This building had a swimming pool on top. Some of the building remained intact up here. And then they think they carved it out of rock mountain when it's all building melted. The mortar's dripping. But they think they came along and carved this. It's amazing. It's a wonder. It's a wonder. Again, the rock curtain, it's working its way up the building. And if it were to go a little bit more, we would think it was just a rock mountain. Took a cajillion, billion, quadrillion years to evolve. It evolved by itself. This is fantastic here. What you're seeing here, this is all building parasites. And again, what you see here is you got your regular brick, red brick, regular red brick, and then it's forming popcorn blocks out of the brick, popcorn blocks, normal brick, and then popcorn blocks. And again, it was all brick. Look what it did to the brick here. Look what it did to it. It envelops it. Look what it did. Look at all the melting bricks at the bottom here. Look at the bottom here. Oh, man, that's fantastic. Melting bricks for you. Look at the melting bricks. Look what it did to all the bricks everywhere. This was all building, red brick. Look what it did to it. Like, it just looks like matter been blown up and thrown everywhere. Brick buildings just thrown everywhere and blasted apart and melted. And wait until you see this. Look. It's still smoking. Whatever the fuck did this? Hold on, you gotta see this. Look, and then it's still smoking so bad that it comes out hot and forms this shit. It's coming out hot still. Again, I can show you the boiling water. We're gonna go to that. Where's that bubbling water at? Again, look, hit. Brick lines. All brick lines, look. Hit. Look, again, that's a building. I want to show you right there. See this right here? That's the tower. That's the building there. It's all bent. These are all buildings completely motherfucking blasted to shit. I mean, blasted to shit. The roof has been completely melted here. Building after building after building. Look, these are all buildings. You can see the brick lines here. Look at the brick. Look at the red brick here. Look at the red brick here. Look at the building here. Look at the tower here. Why are they guarding it? Look, these are all buildings. And again, everybody stop with the going inside of these things. You ain't going inside these things. Why do you think you're going inside these things? Yeah, it forms a rock curtain, but do you understand it's cooking everything inside into one block for the most part? It's cooking everything together. It's melted, and when you go inside of these things, they look like rock caves, just like the outside now. You're not going, look at that tower. I mean, look at the perfect roof shape. Look at all this shit. It's all buildings, not titans, not trees. I was there, and I love you, because I thought, look at the brick here. It was an arch. It's all fucked up. Some of the brick is still there. It's red. You can see all the brick lines here. Brick line, brick line, brick line, brick line. Blasted up. Look at it. It's been blasted. Look at how it's been just blasted to fuck. I mean, look at the mountain. Look at the condition of the brick here that's been blasted. This shit has been blasted to shit. It's been hit to shit. Look at the brick lines, top of the building. The roof is pretty much gone. That's no roof left here. These are little roofs. These are all roofs. See the roof here? Roof, roof, roof. Rough, roof. That's the roof. This dude has gardened the fuck out of it. You can't fucking... Look, it's still on, bubbling hot. Springs. Hey, springs. The shit is still hot. There's a huge fucking hole. There's still smoke coming out of it. The ground's fucking bubbling. Oh, it's a natural event, dumb fucks. It's insane. Look at this yellow thing. What the fuck is that down there glowing? Yellow. What the fuck is that? Again, this motherfucker is still on fire from the event. Look at this shit. Whatever hit and blasted the living dog shit out of these buildings, they're all melted and blasted apart into pieces and spread all over the fucking place. Whatever did it, it's still fucking on fire here. And on other places. The geysers and shit and all that other shit. Look at, you gotta really look at this. Look at that. You can see the goddamn brick lines. The brick is still there for some reason. Been completely fucking melted. Yep. Tops of buildings just sticking up, man. Hardly. And then these things are forming here from this shit's so hot it's coming out and then it solidifies. I mean, whatever did this, it's still on fire here. Look at this shit. Look what it did to all this brick. It started cooking it into stones, blocks, but then it said, at this point, it was such an explosion or something, it just blasted the shit. And you can see, on even on their Google, they haven't smudged everything out. They've smudged out the Ritz-Carlton already, if you can believe it. God, these are all building lines, folks. Look, all buildings that have been melted all over the world. Buildings melted. Everywhere you look. All over. Again, bar none, their buildings melted.